Hello guys and welcome to episode number 203 of the Next Gen Basecast. We've had a little bit of a break due to illness and injury and COVID and all sorts, but we're back. I'm your host Ben and I'm joined as ever by my trusty co-host, Mr. Aaron Sullivan. How you doing?
Good, sir.
Good.
We were just discussing before the show started how we're all tired from old age, but other than that,
yeah, life kind of comes at you pretty quick when you get to over 30, I guess. And I'm also joined by Mr. Eric Clark. Are you well?
I'm good, mate. I'm all good. Hope you are well.
Yeah, I'd say it's just the general malaise and tiredness of living in 2022 at the moment is a thing, but we will persevere and we will get through it because it's what we do. So we'll start as ever with what we've been playing. Gary, have you been playing much over the past couple of weeks?
Not a great deal, but I finished Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga.
Okay.
Like I mentioned before, it's what I expected, but it was very enjoyable. I was going to go back and just try and do like because you've got the free roam stuff. I sort of dabbled a little bit, but I can't imagine me spending like hours and hours in it, because if you want to get like the 100% on it, like that's a lot.
Well, I was going to say, when you say you've completed it, like, is that completed the films or 100%ed it? Because that would be impressive.
just the story side of it. Because there's a lot in that game. Like, you could, I don't even want to imagine how long you would have to spend hour-wise to get 100% in it.
Yeah,
it's got to be like at least a couple of 100 hours or something ridiculous. But that was good fun. My nephews really enjoyed it. They played it as well. It's what you expect, really, Lego humor, and just good fun. And then sort of I've been trying other things. Played a couple of games of NBA 2K22. Nothing really sort of substantial I've sat down and played. There's a couple of games that I do want to try out on Game Pass, but I haven't got around to doing it yet because of life. So that's basically what I've been doing.
Fair enough. So mainly some Lego Star Wars. I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed my time with that. I still think I've got maybe half of the last movie to go, but I'll probably pick that up again at some point shortly. How about you, Aaron? What have you been playing?
As we last podcast discussed, FIFA was free, so I tried it. It took me a while to get used to it. I was like, wow, they've added a lot of fluff to the control system. There's like 70 million different ways to pass, 4 million ways to cross. I was like, why is this so complicated now? It didn't feel great. I'm not gonna lie to you, but enough of that. I also played Tribes of Midgard, which is a new type of game for me. I don't usually play survival type games. It's kind of fun. Played it with Ariel. I mean, we only managed like 2 hours before I had to flee. But it seems good. I'm not sure if you're able to like. So they've got this like online matchmaking system, but it doesn't seem like the worlds are persistent. So like, it kind of feels like you have to get through your to the end of your world playthrough in that one sitting. I'm not sure if that's correct. Obviously, we only played like 2 hours.
Yeah.
But that was kind of like a worrying point. It would have been nice if it was persistent. You could just like jump in there, kind of like an MMO level kind of thing. But I guess that's not what they're going for. So.
I mean, I think that's probably something that you'd think might be key to that kind of game, is if you've got a survival kind of genre. If like, if you're playing in it, you want to go back in and you want to pick back up where you left off. You don't want to be thrown into like a completely random seed or something. So yeah,
I mean, there was some kind of, again, we didn't go back to it. There was some kind of save state to it, but like, obviously the people who you started it with, you matchmade with, obviously aren't going to be around 2 days later. So I'm not really sure how that actually worked. Maybe somebody in the comments will shout at me and be like, "Oh, you're an idiot. You don't understand this game." But I only played 2 hours of it, but it seemed fun.
Cool. And have you dipped back into GT7 at all, or are you still?
No, I've kind of like faded off that.
Fallen off that.
I went through all the like the track experiences, and did all of those and like golded all of those, and then after that I was like, what's left for me. There's the sport mode, as I always keep saying, but that's got so many different problems that they keep on having to bug fix, and I'm just like, no. Until you fix the penalty system that they're having, that, and it's consistent, and you can trust to punish people for being dickheads, basically, which is what you get in every racing game. It's just not worth trying to be good at it. To be fair, there are better independent systems that do a better job of punishing people and putting the legit players where they should be, and all that palaver.
No, that's fair enough. I mean, I know it's kind of come back into the limelight with a little bit of controversy again. With I think they've said that they've repriced some of the like exclusive supercars, I think it was again. So yeah, I don't know. I think I can't remember the exact ins and outs of it, but I saw that some of the prices of like the legendary cars have been increased yet again. So I don't know. It just seems Gran Turismo at this point seems its own little pocket of the internet and its own little thing that just seems prolific.
Maybe in like a year when they've sorted everything out, it will probably be an amazing online experience.
Yeah,
it's just not quite there yet. Still.
Yeah, well, I mean, and that's the thing. Like, I think you know, when the review went out, obviously it was Asim that reviewed it for us, but before he departed to pastures new. But he said, you know, that the actual game itself, like as a driving experience, is like 10 out of 10, which is what we gave it. And it just seems that everything post launch seems to be chipping away at that a little bit, which is a bit of a shame, really, because like I'd quite like it to be, you know, the 10 out of 10 game that we played or that you know that Asim played and got to experience. But it doesn't seem like a huge amount of people are able to have that amount of fun with it at the minute, which is just a bit disappointing, particularly for, you know, like a tentpole franchise like Gran Turismo is. So that's basically it. Then you kind of been hammering FIFA and what was the other one?
Tribes of Midgard. Played a bit of that.
One, yeah, cool. Well, yeah, I've also picked up FIFA because it was free. Got past I think I still had like about half an hour left on my 10-hour trial with Game Pass. Like I just kind of picked it up and went, oh yeah, it's cool. It's FIFA. And then didn't really do anything else with it. But now it's on PlayStation. I know more people that have it on PlayStation, so I kind of, you know, will be able to dip in more and stuff with them. So I played a bit of FIFA. I've also played some Sniper Elite 5, which is on Game Pass. Got through a couple of missions on that. There is a Let's Look At video going up, I think, next week. I'll have to speak to Andy on when he's when we're getting that put up. But yeah, we sat down and played a little bit of it, and you know, shot some dude in the head and shot some dudes in the balls, and did what you do in Sniper Elite. So you know, the slow motion Mortal Kombat kill cams are still a thing. They're still pretty gruesome. And that's, you know, it's a Sniper Elite game. Like, I don't know what people would be expecting other than that at this point. And what else? Oh yeah, played quite a lot of Microsoft Flight Simulator over the past couple of weeks.
Nice.
We got sent. I can grab it just off frame here. If you're watching on video, we got sent the Thrustmaster Hotas full flight kit.
It looks incredibly light. I was expecting it to be quite chunky and heavy. You seem to be managing it.
I'm just proper heavy.
Yeah.
Like, no, I mean it's decent enough weight for what it is, but like, you know, the rubber feet kind of help it stick to the desk. I don't ever feel like I'm going to throw it around or throw it off the desk or anything. But yeah, so we got sent the full kit X, which is the yoke, the throttle, and the pedals as well, which are on the floor. I'm not picking them up because they are quite heavy. But yeah, we played. I played a bit of that because we got sent those to tie in with the Top Gun Maverick DLC that came out. Free DLC for Flight Sim. And they've done a lot of work to that game. I mean, the footage that we've done and the video that we did aside from me in a very sexy flight suit, which was about 3 sizes too small for me, that is online. That was all footage from the Xbox, but I've been playing it on PC because I've got the hardware to run it really well. And yeah, that game like just looks absolutely astonishing when you can crank it up.
Fine, really well. I heard that game struggled on everything.
Yeah, man. Like,
Have they patched it so it's like better
yeah,
now?
so it's a lot better now. It's a lot smoother. I mean, in my PC, I'm running a Ryzen 3600, so it's not the latest gen of CPU, and it's not exactly the highest tier. So it's kind of the old mid range. So I'm running that, and also got an RTX 3080. So like it's a beefy GPU, so it's gonna be giving it some horsepower. But yeah, they've patched it quite a lot, and I mean I'm running it at 1440p upscaled to 4K. Like I can't really get away with a full 4K 60, but 1440p upscaled to 4K, you know, using the sliders and stuff in the game, gives near enough a solid 60. Which, I mean, for a game like this, realistically, you only really need a solid 30, because as long as it's a solid frame rate, like I don't feel the need to have massively, you know, high frame rates in that game. Like you just need a solid frame rate, so it's not jumping all over the place, because it's quite, you know, you need to make sure you've got your timings right with stuff. But yeah, like when you can get it pretty much at 60, and then my TV can do VRR as well, so if you've kind of got that, you know, the ability to have G-Sync in there as well, very smooth experience now. It's a night and day from when it launched. And the Top Gear stuff, I keep saying Top Gear, the Top Gun stuff is really good. Like it's a small piece of DLC, but like, you know, it's a movie tie-in, it's a marketing stunt or whatever. But like you can land on an aircraft carrier, and they also have like a few low altitude missions. That's the one I'm looking for. Where like the lower you fly, the higher you score, and like the faster you do it and stuff. It's just like a time trial. And then they have like the hypersonic flight, which is you've got this secret military jet that can go at Mach 9 or Mach 10. So basically you take off, you go above the clouds, you go into the stratosphere, and then you crank up the scramjet engines and fly off into Mach 9, Mach 10, which is just, it's ridiculous. Like the mission is to fly from one side of the US to the other, and you can do it in like 35 minutes. Which, like, yeah, obviously it's all in real time, so you have to do that. But you know, I don't mind that because it's good fun. So yeah, that's, to be honest with you, that's kind of taken up quite a lot of time, because I needed to get my flight skills back up and, you know, truly earn my stripes. Although I did say, you know, that the video that we did, it did look like if you order Maverick from wish.com, which, you know, what can I say? It was good fun to do, though. Good fun. And yeah, if you've not checked out Flight Sim, you know, it's on Game Pass. It's a massive install on the Xbox. I think it's like 120 gig.
Yeah. I've got it on the Xbox. It took forever to download that.
Yeah, and then if you want to get like if you want to get the additional
packs,
like packs and stuff, yeah, like the UK pack I think is an extra like 8 gig, which is worth it, because it kind of updates a lot of UK landmarks. And like,
yeah,
where I live in Lincoln, like the cathedral originally was just like a little square of building, or like a cross of buildings. When you fly over it, you're like, oh, this is crap. But then they've actually updated it now, so it looks like properly like Lincoln Cathedral. So yeah, I like do like buzzing over that in a Cessna or something. But yeah, Flight Sim, still good fun, even if it's incredibly frustrating sometimes when you can't quite figure it out. But that's enough of that. We'll move on to the news. And the first big bit of news which happened today was it came out, the Pokemon Company announced that Pokemon Scarlet and Violet is coming out, sorry, on November the 18th this year. And there are obviously some new Pokemon that they've announced. including one that has set the internet ablaze, called LeChonk, which is basically a pig that's built like a brick shithouse.
Why is that set the internet alight? Sorry.
I think everybody's kind of looked at it and just gone, "Oh, it's me! They've made me into a Pokemon." But yeah, I mean, it's obviously going to be, coming to Switch, going to come to PlayStation now, is it? They've got the trailer showed off. They've got 2 new legendary Pokemon, which are Koraidon and Miraidon, I believe that's pronounced, exclusive to Scarlet and Violet, respectively. And it will let 4 players go sort of around the world cooperatively together. So that could be an interesting one. I mean, Gary, are you a Pokemon man?
No, not really. Shock horror, by the way, Nintendo releasing another couple of Pokemon games.
Just before Christmas as well.
Yeah. Yeah, they like doing that, which makes perfect business sense, right? Yeah, if you're into Pokemon, obviously this is amazing news because you just love the Pokemon. And yeah, 2 more games. That's another, what, £100 plus if you want both of them. Yeah. Pokemon's not really for me, but I can imagine people getting excited over it because it's huge business. And didn't Nintendo, it says in the article, Nintendo recently claimed it sold almost 35 million Pokemon games, which is...
That's crazy.
Insane. And that's up to March 2022. So yeah, that's a lot. So yeah, it just prints money at this point, Pokemon. So obviously got that big revival recently, the last sort of 4 or 5 years. Yeah, people are going to be lapping it up, but for me personally, I won't be going near it.
Fair enough. What about yourself, Aaron? Are you a Pokemon fan? Are you a kind of legacy Pokemon fan, new Pokemon fan?
Oh, I consider myself legacy. I have a nostalgic relationship with Pokemon, so I was into it big back in the day, and I think I've played like maybe half or 3/4, but I routinely like skip like 2 or 3 games every now and again because they do. Sorry for all the Pokemon, they do get quite samey sometimes. And so it can be hard to get through them sometimes. So usually, what brings me back is either they've introduced a new feature, which it looks like they're doing this time with the running around the world with 4-player co-op, which sounds awesome, by the way. That should be amazing. Or there's a friend who has challenged me to some kind of competitive, and I just can't abide by that, and I have to go and try and whoop their asses. And that's generally the only 2 reasons why I come back to Pokemon. So I actually missed don't know how to pronounce it. Arceus?
I call it Arceus, but that's probably wrong.
Arceus, I think, right?
Yeah. But maybe it looks like they're doing the open world thing still, so maybe this will be an improvement. It does look a little better. It's got a little bit of a shine on it. It's probably post-processing effects, to be honest. So yeah, I'll probably give this a try just to see what the co-op looks like.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, I'm sort of in the same vein, but like I haven't picked up a Pokemon game for a very long time. Like Nico raved about Arceus like a lot, and he was saying that it was one of the best games that they've put out, if not the best Pokemon game in a very, very long time. So yeah, is this the one to get me back in? I mean, possibly. I'll have to see. Like, kind of leading up to the launch, I'm sure they'll have some more like tree houses and whatever. I mean, obviously, it's now June, which means that it's time for all of the news ever to come out over the next 2 weeks. And I'm sure we'll probably see some more of this, but yeah, definitely want to check out if you are a Pokemon fan. So I'm just looking through the description of LeChonk. It says that while LeChonk has a taste-enhancing diet of fragrant wild grass and berries, its seemingly tubby body is pure muscle, built by constantly walking around in search of food. So, like I say, the internet says that LeChonk is me, or themselves. So, anyway. So yeah, Pokemon, new one, out in November. as always, 2 versions, so Scarlet and Violet. Let us know in the comments if you're going to be picking it up, or on Twitter or wherever. Arceus itself sold 12.64 million copies so far.
Damn.
Which is
it's Pokemon, isn't it? It's always gonna sell.
Yeah. So there we go. Next up on the docket is something that we kind of missed because we had the we took a week away from the podcast a couple of weeks ago, and that was the whole kerfuffle with the new PS Plus subscription. In I think it was Malaysia that it launched, or Southeast Asian region, one of the territories over there, where it launched, and basically people who'd stacked a PlayStation Plus subscription tried to upgrade to the new one, and were essentially told to be they were essentially charged for the entire duration of their stacked subscription. So if you'd stacked up, like 5 or 6 years worth of PS Plus, which is entirely legitimate, as well, until Sony pulled the ability to do it, like we discussed in the previous podcast, you suddenly got stung for 5 years worth of upgrade fees for the new PS Plus. And additionally to that, anybody that had a discount on the PS Plus subscription, so if they'd bought a PS Plus subscription on discount from the PlayStation Store, if they tried to upgrade, they were then charged the full price for the upgrade plus the amount that the discount entitled them to. So basically, if you paid like 35 quid for a PS Plus subscription on the PlayStation Store, and you went to upgrade, you'd now be charged whatever it was to upgrade plus the extra 15 quid to make up the discount. Which, not a good look, that, from Sony. I mean, I said we didn't do the pod a couple of weeks ago, but we did have this discussion in our group chat, and we sort of said, what the hell is going on with this? Because it's just mad. Like, once you've bought the subscription, you've bought the subscription. Like, that's what you've paid for it. Like, if you then try and upgrade that subscription, you should just be charged the cost of the upgrade, not backfilled for that charge of, oh shit, yeah, well, you should have been charged an extra 15 quid. We gave you 15 quid off it, so you now need to give us the 15 quid plus the upgrade. Nah, not a fan of that. But Sony did say that it was caused by a technical error.
Oh, sure it was.
Yeah. So it was caused by a technical error, which was resolved, and I believe they've given the users either a refund or credit for that. So,
what was the technical error? That's what I want to know.
Well,
if you're going to blame it on a technical error, I want to know what it is.
Yeah,
like, you fucked up.
Yeah,
you got to tell us how you fucked up.
Yeah,
especially when you've charged me over the odds for something I've already half paid for. Like, I mean, it doesn't make any sense.
Let's just imagine you've bought 5 years worth of PS Plus at a discounted price. So you've had like an extra 15 quid off the price of PS Plus for 5 years. And then you're going to be upgrading to the new PS Plus. Now, I can't remember off the top of my head how much extra a year the new PS Plus is. But if we say it's 30 quid a year, I think that's not too unreasonable to think, is it?
Between 20 and 30, right?
Yeah, so let's say 30 quid. So you pay 30 quid to upgrade for the year, and then you think, cool, okay, I'll upgrade to that. And then all of a sudden, your bank or your credit card or whatever gets stung for 5 years of that, which is 150 quid, plus 5 lots of the upgrade. Or 5 years of the discount that you've had. All of a sudden, you're getting stung for 225 quid.
Damn.
Yeah, it's not a good look. No. But I mean, I did ask the question in the agenda for the podcast, and I said, like, was this originally intentional? I mean, what are your thoughts, Gary? Because like, do you think that this was a genuine glitch, or do you think maybe they kind of thought we can get away with something here, and then realised that they couldn't?
No, I think it was a genuine strategy going forward for them until, obviously, the negative feedback was just overwhelming, and then they had to sort of come up with some sort of excuse. Let's call it a technical error. I don't think that it was a technical error, personally, because if it was, like Aaron said, they would have explained what it was, which they didn't. They just said technical error, and that was the end of it. So I think if they would have announced this and then there wasn't really any reaction to it, I think they would have stuck with it, personally. But because it got such negative feedback, I think they just had to go, shit, right, this is damage. We need to do some damage control here, PR nightmare. And they just come out and said, okay, we're not doing it. It was an error. That's the way it comes across. Maybe I'm completely wrong, but I believe that this was their sort of plan all along.
Fair enough. I mean, Aaron, are you kind of in the same boat, or are you a little bit less cynical?
I don't personally want to speculate, but also if you don't want everybody, because people are going to do that. That's the age we live in. Like, that's the internet. People are going to find reasons, whatever. It doesn't matter. But if you don't want people to do that, you come out and you just say, this was the actual error. This is what actually happened. You explain it. You give some detail to it, and then none of this happens. You don't have this PR issue. I would think that was common sense, as Gary said. Like, so when you don't do that, you let people speculate, and then you have more of a PR nightmare, and you're going to have to come out and fix that as well. And you've also had, this year, a series of PR issues already. Why do you want more? Like, what's going on over there? Like, just stop. Yeah. Just be open and honest, and try not to fuck your gamers over. And they'll love you. Like, people love Sony, like, because we're for the gamers, you know? Like, when you keep doing things like this, you kind of prove otherwise. And eventually people will wise up and learn, and that's not what you want as a company. So
yeah, I mean, like, I kind of, there is a part of me that thinks like, yeah, this was potentially a strategy, but like, I almost want to kind of lean into the belief that, yeah, okay, right, this was an error that they just didn't, they didn't take into account people that had discounted subs or whatever. But the thing for me is like, when you have a discounted sub, why would that discount show on the account? Like, surely the fact that you've just got a subscription would be enough. Like, it shouldn't matter how much you paid for that subscription. It's like I said, a couple of minutes ago, when you bought the subscription, that's it. It doesn't matter how much you paid for that subscription. So why is that information still there? Why is it when you then go to upgrade, they're trying to make up the amount that they've lost, in inverted commas, on the discount that they've given you? So it's easy to see whichever side you want to look at on that. Like, personally, I think that there was an issue somewhere along the line, and somebody hit the wrong button maybe, and they kind of went, yeah, we fucked up. But like Aaron said, if you do that, you just own the mistake. Like, you don't, just own it. Say, yep, all right, we fucked up. Here you go. This is what we're doing for it. But it just seems so at odds with like what the competition are doing. When with Microsoft at the moment, if you buy, or if you have 8 years worth of Xbox Live Gold, for example, you can upgrade all of that to Game Pass Ultimate for $1 or for £1. So like it just seems strange. Also with Xbox, you can stack the shit out of it as well. Yes. Which, I mean, you could with PlayStation for a while, but like I don't think they've reintroduced it yet. I think they're kind of waiting for the new service to launch, and then they're going to reintroduce stacking, because I think I've still got a couple of years left. But no, we'll have to see what happens. But
look, if you want to do some kind of chicory and try and like extract more money or get more money, you either have to be smarter about it than this. Like, because again, we live in the internet age. Everybody's talking to each other. Oh, what's this? Oh, I've seen this, and I've seen this in this email, and blah blah blah. You're gonna get found out. So you either need to be smarter about it, or just come up front. Yeah. And I think people will respond to that.
Yeah.
I mean, I would personally.
Yeah, and I think I'm in the same boat. Like, if they came out and said, right, if you have bought a subscription from us at a discount, when you upgrade to the new service, you will be charged, pro rata for however much that discount was or whatever. Like, people would kick off and say, oh, that's shit. But at least you're informed then and make a decision of like, okay, I don't like that choice, so I'm not going to upgrade. But yeah, to kind of do it, and I don't know if it was sneaky or a mistake or whatever, but yeah, frustrating. But it seems like it's blown over now. It seems like they've kind of adjusted whatever it was that was the technical error. I mean, having worked in IT for a number of years, it's very easy to turn around and go, oh, it's a hardware issue, and just, if you've broken something for somebody, you just go, oh, it's a hardware problem, and then just replace it. There you go, jobs are good, and no one ever knows. I feel like every single IT technician that's watching this now is just going, Ben, you've just given away our fucking secrets. But like, it is what it is, and hopefully, it sounds really harsh to say, but hopefully they've kind of done the beta testing for us over in the Asian regions now, and then we can kind of get the proper thing in a couple of weeks and not have these problems. But alongside that, though, there is a let me get the details out. Here we go. Here's the news. The news that the PS Plus games for June have been announced. And they are God of War, Naruto, to Boruto, Shinobi Striker, and Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl. Yay. I mean,
I'm sorry, that is a terrible lineup.
It really is, isn't it? I was thinking, I don't know. I was thinking, I was like, maybe I'm being like rough on them. I'm like, Jesus, that's pretty bad. It's a pretty bad month, isn't it?
Who at this point hasn't played God of War?
Yeah.
But even if you haven't, if you've recently got a PS5, isn't it like, is it one of the free?
Yeah, it's free.
Yeah, it's free, isn't it?
I don't think it was.
No, is it not?
No.
Yeah, definitely is. I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure it's part of the PS Plus collection. I'm sure it was. Maybe I just see that, but I'm sure it was.
I don't know, actually. I didn't think God of War was in there. Let me just have a quick look. No, oh, yes, it was. Yeah, it was. Fair enough.
So you're giving us a free game that you're already giving us free? I'm like,
yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, that's the... So that's the thing. Like, I genuinely didn't think it was in the PS Plus collection. But if you have PS Plus and you have a PS5, you already have God of War. And if you haven't got a PS5, then you get it if you have PS Plus. But the people, just kind of putting it out there, if you still have a PS4 only, you've probably played God of War by now if you have PS Plus.
Yeah.
But either way, it's there. If you haven't, for whatever reason, haven't played God of War yet, like that's the headline game. The other two, I don't think I'm gonna bother with. I mean, the Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl, I've heard very bad things about that game. Like, kind of wanted to be Smash Brothers and then didn't get anywhere near it.
Okay. I saw the previews for that game when it was like doing the rounds around all the YouTubers and stuff. It looked good. Like, I mean, you got all your favorite Nickelodeon characters and stuff on it. But again, I've not heard anything since then, so I'm assuming nobody took it and it just kind of slowly died.
I think that's the thing, is like they wanted to have legs on it, so they wanted it to be this big thing, and it's like, well, it's not going to be that if people aren't playing it. So obviously this is potentially a way to get people playing it, but I don't know. Strange one. And the other one, I don't like anime stuff generally. That might be a massive tarring with a huge brush, but
I'm a huge anime fan, like, and I love Naruto, but Shinobi Strikers is like, really? Am I really going to play that? Like, I'm not sure who the target audience is for that game, but okay. And especially with the Mario Strikers game going out soon, like competition's going to be rough, isn't it? So.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that excites me actually, Mario Super Strikers, because I loved, absolutely
same.
loved the one on the GameCube. Was it GameCube or Wii? Wii, wasn't it?
I've never played them, remember? So like, I can't remember.
Oh wow, okay, yeah.
This will be my first one if I pick it up.
Yeah, the one on the Wii was really good fun. Mario Strikers Charged, I think it was. Great fun. But while we're sort of briefly on the subject of Smash Brothers clones, forgot to mention the one thing that I did play as well was the Multiverses closed alpha. That's Warner Brothers entry into the Smash Alike.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, we got given early access to that and did a couple of videos for it. And again, I'm not a Smash Brothers fan at all. Like, don't like it, don't get it, don't understand it, think it's just chaos and nonsense. But
my bad. This isn't. I've completely. This doesn't sound like a sports title, or it's just a standard Naruto beat 'em up team battle game.
Oh, okay.
Fair enough. So this will probably do pretty decently. These actually do quite well.
Oh.
So yeah.
There we go. Yeah, like so the Multiverses thing, we got access to it, and I'm not saying don't like Smash at all, but I actually kind of enjoyed my time with it. Like I really liked it. It's kind of not quite as chaotic. It's a little bit more measured. You've got a huge array of characters they're going to have. I think Warner Brothers have got all of the IP, so if you've seen Space Jam 2, then you know that they have every fucking character under the sun. So it seems like that's going to be pretty good, and that's going to be free to play, which I think is the key thing for the Nickelodeon game, which obviously hasn't hit its stride. So yeah, slightly potentially underwhelming PS Plus month, but we'll have to see what happens when the new service hits. I think we're due to get access to that soon as well, so we'll keep you all updated. The next bit of news, I think, is probably going to be one that Gary's going to enthuse about a little bit here. Star Wars Jedi Survivor has been announced, sequel to Fallen Order. Gary, I know you were a big fan of Fallen Order, and in particular BD1. So
yeah.
Are you excited about Jedi Survivor with the teaser trailer that came out? Obviously, not showing too much, but out next year.
Yeah, very much so. Like, originally, I wasn't a fan of Fallen Order. I tried it. I didn't think it was for me, but then I went back recently and played it, and that game's so good. It's like the story's great, the combat's great, it looks great. The one thing, obviously, like you say, the trailer didn't really show a lot because it's quite far out. The one thing that excites me about this game is the fact that it's only on current gen consoles, so it's not going to be on PS4, Xbox One, and I think that's good because from the sort of facial captures they've shown, you can see the vast improvement in his face. Yeah, I'm really excited about this. It looks like it's going to be it's basically the same team, right? So you would hope that it's going to be as good as Fallen Order, which I'm sure it will be. And it's, yeah, I don't know when in 2023 this is coming, but I'm excited to see what they do with it because Fallen Order was great. And if you haven't played it, definitely go and check it out because it's amazing. So,
yeah, I mean, Aaron, I think you said you recently played through Fallen Order.
I did. I echo Gary's sentiments. It's the most Star Wars thing we've had in years. Yeah. And there's been plenty of Star Wars stuff to come out. Looking forward to the sequel. Hopefully it's even remotely good, as good story-wise. Aren't they using Unreal Engine 5 for this? Is that what they're using?
I think I saw
I don't think they've announced it, have they?
No, I think I saw something suggesting it, but I don't think anything's been confirmed.
Oh, okay.
But I know that, like, obviously a lot of the live action stuff and the series and stuff at the moment are using Unreal for all of the sets and stuff. So I don't know how compatible, take this from this area and put this in this video game. I don't know if that would even work. I don't know how game engines work because I like to play them, not make them. But yeah, I would I still need to finish Fallen Order. I played it. I think I did what you did, Gary. I played it initially, and I thought this is really good, and never actually finished it because I think there was a couple of moments where like I hit a bit of a wall with it. But I've re-downloaded it to my Xbox based on yours and Aaron's feedback over the past few weeks, and I'm like, yeah, I'll probably give that a go, possibly over the weekend actually.
So good.
Go. But possibly the biggest news out of all of this, certainly from Gary's point of view, is that alongside Star Wars Jedi Survivor is the fact that there is going to be a BD1 available in Lego form.
Yeah, I'm so hyped for that. It looks amazing.
Yeah.
I think he's one of the cooler droids, and they've actually now, because of the game, he's canon, Star Wars canon. So I'd imagine we'd be seeing him in the likes of Mandalorian and that sort of stuff, because the timeline's sort of very similar. So yeah, I'm super. It was rumored for ages that it was coming, and then sort of a leaked box shot come out, and then now obviously Lego have officially announced it. I believe it comes out like August the 1st.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm gonna definitely put my money down for a BD1. He's a cool character.
Yeah, I mean, it almost seems life size, doesn't it? I think it's quite a big set.
Yeah, I think it's like, is it like 1,100 pieces or something like that? 1,200 pieces. So it's not a small guy.
Yeah, just over 1,062 parts apparently.
Okay. So yeah, super excited for him.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool. He's a very cool character, like you say. I think the fact that they gave him an awful lot of personality. I mean, that's kind of what Star Wars is known for with its droids at this point. Like, even if they don't talk, like, you know, BB-8 had his own personality. R2-D2 obviously was arguably the more dynamic of the two sort of stalwart droids. But yeah, BD1, very cool character. And if you are wanting to get your own, then, you know, it's out in Lego form. Don't think we'll be able to get away with doing a video for that one, sadly, as it's. Well, I don't know. Actually, it is video game related, so.
Technically, he started in a video game, right? So.
Yeah, I don't know if I could get away with buying that as well, given that I've just bought Optimus Prime. But you know, we shall see. So there we go. 2 bits of Star Wars Jedi news. And without wanting to do too much, I'm just going to bring it down a notch just for a minute and, you know, slightly depress everybody. eFootball isn't getting its Master League mode until next year, and it's going to be paid DLC.
Jesus.
I mean, we kind of knew it would be paid DLC, right? Like they confirmed that, but it's not going to be available until next year, which that's going to be what, about 18 months after the game came out?
That's ridiculous. Like,
I mean, at what point? I don't want to just turn this into another let's shit on eFootball podcast, because I think we've done that previously in a couple of areas. But at what point do they kind of go, right, let's just cut and run from this? Because I mean, Aaron, have you tried it or have you played it?
Oh, after all the negative comments out there, I was just like, no. But to be fair, I was off Konami's football franchise for just like FIFA. I kind of fell off. Like, they haven't, for me, made a good football game in a while. So I just didn't bother. And it seems like I made the right choice. So, you know?
Yeah, I mean, fair enough.
Yeah.
Like, Gary, have you played much of it since it launched? I think you gave it a brief go, did you?
Yeah, I gave it a brief go at launch. Then I have sort of dived in once, I believe, once, maybe twice at the most. And yeah, I know it's recently been getting a lot of updates, like tweaks here and there, but it's just damage control at this point. Like, and then they go and say stuff like Master League isn't coming for like potentially like 12 months. It's just like, really? Like, they do, it's like 1 step forward, 2 steps back. That's the issue.
Yeah.
They sort of try and improve the sort of gameplay side of it, and then at the same time go, but fuck you guys if you want the Master League now. It's just like, Yeah, I don't know where they're going with this.
I mean, I would be very interested to see how it's doing for them. Like, I don't know. Full disclosure on it. Like, I've played probably about 2 or 3 hours of it since they updated it to version 1. But I just don't see the point in playing anymore. Like, I don't like playing online multiplayer game, like multiplayer football games, unless it's with a friend, and like I'm not into the competitive side of it. So at this point, do I just say, right, okay, eFootball 2021 is not for me? Like, it's not my, I'm not in that target audience, because at the moment you still can't adjust the difficulty aside from the middle and so like not amateur, but like medium and superstar. You still can't turn the match time if you're playing a single player game. You still can't turn that up over 5 minutes.
That baffles my brain.
Like,
it's like a glorified game demo, right?
Yeah, and it still is. Like, at what point do you just go, okay, cool, that's not for me, I'm cutting my losses, I'm walking away from this game? Because I just think, unless there is somehow a massive money spinner, like, I don't see how this is going to be a good thing for Konami. Like, they've said, so the free content stuff that's been added, it says lobby match in which users can create rooms online and play matches between teams created in Dream Team is scheduled to be available after summer 2022. Some editing functions will be available in winter 2022, and cross-platform across consoles and PC will be available in winter 2022. Now, if I'm not mistaken, that was something that was originally supposed to launch with the game.
Yeah.
So, what's suddenly decided to? Oh yeah. By the way, that's going to take us a year now. I just, it just seems messy, and like it's such a disappointing thing to have to say, because obviously, we have a lot of fond memories in eFootball and PES, particularly as as a site, and we still know and are friends with people that work at Konami and that make these decisions, or are at least part of the team that make these decisions. And it's such a disappointing thing to have to look at and go, well, why can't I still play a single player game for longer than 5 minutes on a difficulty that isn't either too easy or too hard?
That baffles me. The equivalent to that is, imagine buying Gran Turismo 7 and you can only do 2 laps of a race. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, it can't take long to code something like that into a game, right? Like, it's not, you don't really have to dive deep into the back end of it, I wouldn't imagine.
Well, it's the fact that the options are there, they're just grayed out.
Yeah, so it's obviously coded in some way already, and they just need to flick the switch, as they say. It's
I
don't know. Luckily for me, I'm not part of the eFootball PES sort of landscape no more. I gave up a long time ago because of this. Just I wasn't enjoying it.
Yeah.
So for me, it doesn't really affect me per se. But for those that are like, there's a lot of people I know and friends with that are Twitch streamers because of PES, because of eFootball. But so there's people out there who are excited about it, but the way they've gone about it is just bizarre. It really is bizarre and disappointing at the same time. So
yeah, I mean, I can't really think of anything else to add to that. Aaron, have you got anything more to say on the situation, or?
Nope. Just I guess in a general sense, like turning around like these bad starts, these bad PR starts in games is incredibly difficult. And not everybody can be No Man's Sky. Battlefield is currently finding that out right now. When they're trying to turn stuff around, and it's just not happening. Nobody cares anymore. There's just too many games to play. So there's a potential they might get the wrong message. Again, I haven't delved any football, but there's a potential they might get the wrong message and be like, okay, well, nobody cares about this anymore because they're not playing it, and just stop making them. Period. I don't know if that's a good thing for the fans.
Yeah.
I mean, again, I used to be a heavy PES fan back in the day kind of thing. But again, as I was saying, like, I've just been turned off. Like, it's just been game after game of kind of meh. And for you to bring me back into that fold, you'd have to do something monumental. And then on top of it, you'd have to add like a crazy PR budget to actually get it out to people so everybody knows that this is like, it's a really big uphill battle for them. So
yeah,
it's unfortunate.
I mean, it's such a shame as well because, like, in my opinion, they did the right thing when they said, okay, we're going free to play. Like, kind of putting out a version of the game that is, this is eFootball or this is PES this year. It's going to be free to play. Some of the stuff, if you want to get it, will cost you. It's like, okay, cool. That sounds ideal. Like, I'll buy Master League and then I'll possibly buy another mode and that'll be it. That'll be what I play PES for. Like, it won't cost me 60, 70 quid. But what they then launched with was something that, in my opinion, wasn't even worthy of being called a free-to-play game. Like, it was just awful when it launched. And from rumblings that I'd heard, people internally at EA were a little bit worried about how the stuff was going to work out with PES or with eFootball when it went free to play. There was some serious talks about, like, oh shit, do we do this as well? Like, what's the plan? Do we kind of look at doing this as well? Like, there were, I don't want to speak out of turn, but from what I'd heard, there were, some internal meetings and stuff where they said, okay, this sounds like an idea. This sounds like what, the future might have to be for FIFA or, EA Football or EAFC or whatever they're calling it now. I can't remember off the top of my head. But, like, that was possibly where they were looking at going. And now they've seen what's happened with eFootball. Like, that had the possibility to be a legitimate competitor if they came out and got it right and said, right, okay, this game is free. It's a good football game. The basics are there. If you want the advanced shit, you've got to pay a little bit extra. Like, most people would just want that basic stuff. But they've come out of the gate and, for all intents and purposes, they've fucked it. So I'm pretty sure now that, everybody that was looking at that decision on the FIFA side, or on EA's side rather, are sitting there now going, we don't have to do that. We're the only game in town. We'll charge 70 quid for our game year in, year out. No one's going to bat an eyelid.
True.
So, yeah. It had the possibility to disrupt the whole industry, and unfortunately, it didn't. But we are approaching the hour mark now. So what I'm going to do is we will drop the story. We're going to talk about another downer from Konami about them killing Super Bomberman R's online functionality. But I haven't played that game since it launched. We played a few.
Konami just like lately they've had just issues with everything. Like, it doesn't seem they care about their old franchises that made them popular in the gaming space at all anymore. They're not looking to invest in any way, shape, and form into that. I don't know if they don't think it's profitable enough anymore.
I mean, the rumors are that it seems like they might be licensing some stuff out. Like, the heavy rumors are that, I think there was a big rumor that Bloober Team are making a new Silent Hill, along with another studio. I think there's like 2 or 3 Silent Hill projects another 2 or 3 Silent Hill projects in development. And there's the ever-present rumor of the Metal Gear remake.
Have you seen the cinematic sequences from Snake Eater on the pachinko machines? Yeah. And how ridiculously well put together they are.
It's like, what the fuck? Good.
Can we just have this game re-released, please? Like, what's going on?
But like, yeah, there's always those heavy rumors. I mean, the rumor is that it's either the Metal Gear Solid or Snake Eater that is being remade. just give me either of them, please. Like the going back to Shadow Moses in Metal Gear 4 was fucking amazing, and I want to do that again. But anyway, yeah, like the big thing for the week is that the day before. So the day before you get this podcast, the day after we record it, there you go. It's Wednesday now. On Thursday, there is a state of play from PlayStation. You'll be getting the podcast on Friday. So we're not going to recap it. But they've said that there's going to be a state of play. They've not really said too much about what's going to be shown, but they did say today, that being Wednesday, that the Horizon VR game is going to be shown for PSVR 2. So do we think that's an indication of what they're going to be showing? Like, are they going to go more down the PSVR 2 route, or do we think this is going to be like their E3 conference? Gary, I'll start with you.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a mixture of PS5 and VR. I think if they just go full on VR, people might be like, well, hang on a minute, where's the PS5 stuff that we desperately need? Yeah, I expected that. The Horizon VR sort of game. I also expect like God of War, Ragnarok to be there at some point. They probably end the show, maybe.
They have said that Ragnarok isn't going to be there at the state of play tomorrow. So.
Oh, wow. Okay, that surprised me. So, okay, so what else is... Well, there's obviously going to be some announcements that haven't been announced yet. I'm just trying to think what other stuff could be there, to be honest. I'm so out of the loop with it. But yeah, it's going to be... Essentially, it's going to be their E3, if you want to call it that. I'm excited. And it's tomorrow, right? June the 2nd. What is it today? June the 2nd?
Yeah, June the 2nd at 11 p.m. So, nice early one for us.
Okay. Yeah.
Aaron, are you hyped for it? Are you interested by PSVR 2 first off?
I need to see. I can't get hyped for something I haven't really seen much of anymore. I used to do that. It's not a good way to go about things because you just end up in disappointment land. So I need to see more. I need to see. Have they priced VR yet? They haven't, have they?
They've not announced the price yet. No.
I need pricing. You know, I just need more. I need you to show me more for me to get excited. In regards to what they're going to show, I think we need to see what's in development. I know it might be further off down the line because of the pandemic and whatnot, and obviously games take a long time to make these days. But even if it's only like some basic like alpha footage, I need to see real PS5 games. How long has this console been out now? A year and a half. Why did I buy this thing? Like, I mean, it's great. I'm getting good frame rates on games that I've missed, and I'm enjoying that. But also, I want to see the power that this thing has yet to be unleashed. You know, like we haven't seen what it's capable yet, like even remotely. Like, I don't think anything released this year is going to do that. So again, they have to kind of like take a leap of faith and show us what they're working on. I know some people will complain because they don't like to see stuff in progress, and it's like, well, I can't play this for another 2 years. I don't care. But me personally, I want to see what I've invested in. I want to know what the future is.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I mean, like I the thing I'd possibly bring up there is like when you say that we've not really seen what it can do. I think the outlier to that would probably be Ratchet and Clank. Like with the,
you think?
I think mainly in terms of like the loading times and the use of the SSD. And I know that's kind of a cliche thing to lean back on. Yeah, like it's a very, very polished visual performance from that game, combined with things like the incredibly quick loading that I know both of the new consoles have NVMe in them, but I'll be brutally honest, the PS5 for me still seems a hell of a lot quicker than the Xbox at times. Particularly on, you know, games that have been designed with that console in mind. And yeah, I mean, like graphically, you're probably right. Like Returnal, for example, is still possibly the most graphically impressive game that I've seen. But there is more. There is more to come from that console, and obviously, you know, Horizon Forbidden West is a game that looks absolutely phenomenal on that machine, but it's still a PS4 game as well. So like, yeah, when you I think when we have that sort of jettisoning of the PS4, like whilst the tail of that has been longer due to the manufacturing problems and the stock issues of the PS5, I think we'll start to see the PS5 really stretch its legs over the next 12 months or so, or at least I'd hope so.
Is it still a madness trying to get hold of a PS5? I'm sort of out of the loop with that a bit.
I believe it is, yeah. I think they've said that they're starting to get on top of the stock issues. But at the moment it's still a bit of a mad dash. Like, you can't just go into a shop and buy a PS5. You are still at, I think last I checked, I saw today, the Xbox Series X has been in stock on Amazon like consistently for the past month. So like, if you want an Xbox, like you're kind of fine now. But the PlayStation side of things, I think it's still a bit screwy.
Damn.
But they're selling all of them. Like, I think they said they've sold, I can't remember, 18 million at this point, I think. PS5 sales. So PS5 sale, I can't see. Yeah, I think I can't see the numbers off the top of my head. 14.5 million games, I think that was. Let's have a quick look. Sony has now shipped 19.3 million PS5 consoles. So
damn,
we're nearly,
obviously,
that was at the beginning, or sort of 10th of May. That was, so we're probably past 20 million at this point. So they are getting out there. People are buying them. They just can't make enough for people to to fill the demand that people want them. So yeah, crazy one. But I think this is probably going to be a slightly smaller showcase tomorrow from Sony. I think they have confirmed that they're going to be part of the Summer Games Fest as well. So whatever Keighley brings to the table, he's going to probably drop something there and say, oh, by the way, PlayStation gave me this trailer, lol. Because let's not forget, I think was it the Game Awards that they sort of stealth revealed the Series X?
It was, yeah.
Or was it this? Yeah, it was the Game Awards, wasn't it? Yeah. So
like, that 6-hour show.
Yeah, I mean, Keighley's got some clout, so he will be able to kind of pull in a big trailer from somebody. But yeah, whether we'll see it tomorrow or last night as you listen to this, or whether we'll see it at the Summer Games Fest, I do not know. But the final thing that we wanted to talk about quickly, I mean, have you guys seen the footage that was sent through for the new Sonic game, Sonic Frontiers?
Yeah.
Scanned through it briefly.
Scanned through it, yeah.
Looks all right.
Yeah, I mean, so basically, new Sonic Frontiers footage has been announced and revealed. Sorry, IGN are doing a whole month of firsts for Sonic Frontiers, and I am yet to be fully convinced by it. But yeah, I mean, for me, Sonic's at its best when it's incredibly high speed with a lot of enemies and a lot of things to do. But the open world kind of looked a little bit empty.
Yeah, Sonic games as well generally struggle to go fast in 3D environments. Yeah. They've had a couple of good ones, but most of them back in the day were fucking awful. So that's my worry about it. It looks all right, and we didn't see enough footage to really sort of gauge a sort of proper opinion on it. But that's my one worry, is the fact that it's in a 3D environment and it's Sonic going like ridiculously fast. But we'll see.
I mean, Aaron, are you kind of of the same opinion for the 3D Sonic games?
Yeah, I don't trust you at all, Saga. I'm sorry. Not when it comes to 3D Sonic. And it's funny because obviously he makes like reference to like Sonic Adventure and how that influenced all the other 3D games. And don't get me wrong, as a kid, I loved Sonic Adventure. Like, I played through that game like 7 times. Like, the problem is that game is so much jank. Like, it's just a broken absolute mess. So and then you wonder why the rest of the games are also a broken mess, if that's what influenced. So if you want that to happen again, I'm a bit worried. Maybe his view of what happened there is completely different from mine, but yeah. Yeah, the trailer kind of looks a bit underwhelming, but we'll see.
Yeah,
it could turn out good.
It's weird as well because like it almost looks like Sonic feels quite out of place in it. Like
Yeah,
you've
I felt that. Yeah,
you've got this really like relatively nice CGI open world, and it's like cool. Let's just stick Sonic in the middle of it. It's like, yeah, okay, fine. But if you
make
are,
a point though, right? It does look a bit barren. Like, so what are we going to be doing in this world?
yeah,
Like, as you say, Sonic is there, but people play Sonic to run fast. Like, we don't really want to be doing super amounts of platforming. It can be dispersed here and there, but at the end of the day, we just want to run through and try and mediate the level and get through the obstacles and whatnot. We don't really want to do, I guess, Mario-like things in a Sonic game. It just doesn't work. Like, it's been proven time and time again. It's not. I mean, I know the newer generation have like their favorite Sonic games are usually like 3D ones, and they're usually the worst ones. I don't know what's going on there, but yeah, if you want it to be mass appeal and you want it to be massive, you want it to be big, you want it to sell lots of copies, you gotta get over these issues, man. Like,
yeah. Like I don't know. I haven't really enjoyed a 3D Sonic game. I think I want to say since Generations, but I know that Generations was a bit of an outlier because you had the retro stuff as well, and I think that's probably why I made it, and sort of why I enjoyed it a little bit more because you had both. But we'll see. I think Sonic Frontiers, is due out later this year, and at the moment, it seems intriguing. So yeah, IGN have a load of stuff on that throughout the month. But if you want some proper Sonic content, either watch Sonic the Hedgehog 2 or rather brilliantly Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers on Disney Plus.
I've heard I've watched was he in a convention or something? Like ugly something? I watched that. That's quite hilarious.
Mate, it is more than that. And I will say this, that film is way better than it has any right to be. It's fucking brilliant. Loved it. But yeah, on that chipmunky note, I think that's probably a spot to wrap up for the week. We will be back in 2 weeks with some more gaming content when we will undoubtedly be covering the news that comes out of the Summer Games Fest, which is in place of E3 because E3 is now dead. And yeah, I'm intrigued to see what comes out of the next 2 weeks because, like you say, I think there's a lot of people clamoring for some games. I know, like, PlayStation fans are sort of wondering what's coming next, and Xbox fans are looking at stuff going, we've got all these studios now, can we have some games from them, please? But we will have to see. But in the meantime, do drop us a like on the YouTube video if you're watching it. If you're listening to us, go subscribe to us on YouTube. Give us a follow on all of the social medias. And until then, I shall say goodbye to Mr. Gary Clark.
Bye, mate.
And I'll say goodbye to Mr. Aaron Sullivan.
Goodbye, sir.
And bye to all of you. Bye.